Hi, Chanel. Welcome back.
So Glad We Talk podcast.
I'm so glad you're back with me. It was a interesting experience trying to put a 3-minute episode out by myself.
The bloopers were my favorite part. You were like, I
Oh.
miss my co-host. I was like, oh my God, stop it.
That was the most nervous I've been recording ever, and since we started doing this, because I just felt it difficult to think on the spot about something without talking with you. It's like this is just me right now.
Yeah, it's like you with your own thoughts.
Yeah, glad I talked to myself. Weird.
Yeah. Well, it was just a busy week for both of us. I had some family stuff going on. I was visiting my grandma in the hospital like 2 times last week after work. So that took a lot of time. She's doing a little bit better now. And then on top of that, I just had a few other commitments that I had made already. So it was just hard for me to kind of get out of and record. And then it conflicted with your schedule. I know you had a few things going on.
Yeah, my parents are in the middle of selling their old house. They sold it, but now it's the moving process. So I had to go help them move out of my childhood home.
Was that emotional?
Yeah, I want to talk about it on another podcast episode because I think it can be helpful for someone that might be going through it or will eventually have to go through it. And it's been a journey for me for sure.
I know. And you were like texting me photos of stuff from your childhood and it was so cute. It was like, you were like definitely going through it.
I was going through the feels.
Yeah. So I think we should have to do an episode on it because I feel like you have a lot to say on it. But we couldn't get together and it was just one of those weeks where it was like you were busy, I was busy, and we just couldn't find time. So I appreciate you putting together a 3-minute episode without me.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's not gonna happen again.
It might happen again.
You missed me and I missed you, and we're just meant to be co-hosts together.
We are. I'm glad you're here.
And today we have a special episode with our other halves.
Yes, it's really exciting to get Mitch and Martin on the podcast to talk about relationships, our relationships, how they see love. It's really great.
We sat down and we like asked each other questions about our relationship and what we love about each other and all that. So it was really nice to just talk about something that you don't normally talk about every day.
I agree. And it's in the spirit of Valentine's Day. I know it was yesterday, but the love is still there. And I really hope everyone enjoys listening.
So we're here with Martin and Mitch.
Welcome to the podcast.
What's up? How are you doing, everybody?
What's up, guys? We're so happy you're here.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Glad.
We're glad to be here. We're glad to have you too.
This is a very special Valentine's Day episode, even though Valentine's Day was yesterday.
Yes. Well, we're preparing for Valentine's Day and getting in the spirit with our significant others.
So we want to do a little how we met, right?
Yeah.
Let's get into that.
Chanel and I have heard each other tell the stories of how we've met you guys.
Yeah.
Maybe should we make them tell us how
we met?
How we met?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
All right, you guys started dating first, so you guys go first.
Mitch, how did we meet?
So we met on Bumble. We are the couple that, like a lot of people nowadays, all meet online. That's the new thing to do.
Why were you on Bumble?
Ooh.
I was single.
That's a good answer.
Were you hoping to meet a girlfriend on Bumble, or were you looking to just go out on dates?
At that time, I didn't know. At that time, I think I had been single for a good amount of time.
No, hold up. Mitch was not single for a good amount of time. How long were you single for, Mitch?
4 months.
Yeah, that's not a good amount of time. That's like
yeah.
In a New York minute, that's
like...
Isn't a New York minute faster than a standard minute? So isn't 4 months in normal time like a year?
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
You got us there.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, well...
Thank you.
All right, so 4 months fresh. Okay.
4 months fresh, yes. And I think I didn't know what I wanted. I was just there kind of, let's see what happens kind of thing. So I think if I remember correctly, we had just matched right when the new year started. And actually Tori's first question, because Bumble, the women has to ask a question first.
Yeah.
She asked me what my favorite Blink-182 song was, and I am a massive Blink-182 fan. It's obviously on my profile. And right then and there, and I was just, this is.
Oh, you're like,
this is
I
gonna
like
be
her.
something. This is gonna be something. That it was definitely of the better openings. I wasn't on for long, but of the better openings that I've heard on
Okay,
Bumble.
so what's your favorite Blink-182 song?
That's gonna be a secret between Tori and I.
Oh.
I keep that to myself. And a lot of people know my favorite Blink-182 song. People think,
but it's a good test if I get it right.
That's true.
Yeah.
I know, but what if I can reveal it now and it shows how much I
That's-
know about you?
Okay, so
And
Tori.
if I get it wrong. But this
Tori.
was also part of the conversation we had on Bumble, was going back and forth about what his favorite song was. He made me guess, and like I think he was also testing me out to see if I really knew Blink 182,
Nice.
which I did.
So I gave her 3 options, and I think one of the ones I said was like "I Miss You." It's the most popular song. Wasn't obviously wasn't that one, but she didn't choose that one. She chose another one. So okay, that's great. And then she chose like a more common one. I was like, still not it. No.
We went back and forth, and I didn't end up getting it right, but it was close. It was between that song and another one that I liked more, but it is Ghost on the Dance Floor.
Yes, from the Neighborhoods album, released in 2011, and the song she picked last was was from that album too. So even if she falls, another
I didn't pick
fantastic
that
song.
one.
Yes, you did. That's what it was.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it is.
We got
Yeah,
receipts.
well, you said no, you
Uh-oh.
did
Hey, I
natives.
do have the receipts. I'm going to go back and look at this.
You did natives. And you did even if she falls.
I don't know any of these songs.
I know.
Well, you should go listen to Ghost.
I know.
You should go listen to Ghost on the Dance Floor. It is a
Okay.
fantastic song.
Okay.
You pulled that up so fast.
Yeah, how did you pull it
I
out
did.
so fast?
This is 3 years ago, and
oh my
she
God.
had it.
Are you okay?
So when I got off
You
Bumble,
can do the same thing.
I took screenshots
yeah.
of our conversation.
yeah,
because
me
I
too.
want. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said natives or even if she falls. You're right.
Oh.
And then
wait,
you were
wait.
like, cue
Wait,
Jeopardy
let's
music.
get that again.
Can you say that for the
soundbite.
people in the back, please?
You were right.
Ooh.
Wow.
I'm not wrong a
Do you
lot.
want me to take the
Gotta admit-
soundbite out and just give it to you and you can play it whenever you want?
I'm gonna go to bed to that soundbite.
That's
just
your
like-
new
Maybe
alarm
his alarm
clock.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
gonna be like, Tori's gonna be like, honey, going to bed. Hold on, put my earphones in.
It's all good.
You were right.
Yep.
Oh, God.
You were right.
Best sleep I had in years.
Okay. Anyway, so
Okay, so what was your first date?
Our first date was Ruby Rosa,
Mhm.
and it was at Little Italy. Right?
Yes.
I don't know much about the areas of New York City.
Yes.
I'd only just started going to New York City for work. Didn't know a lot about it. So
tell the people where you're from.
I'm from the Jersey Shore. So if you've ever seen the show, The Jersey Shore, I grew up about 5 minutes inland of that show. So all the bars that they went to were the bars I went to. So
Did you see them?
I did actually. Their final season of like the original cast, I guess, being together, I was 21, and that was the claim to fame.
Love
And
it.
Yes. So
So
It's a lot of fun.
when I was on Bumble, I didn't think I was going to date anyone outside of the New York City area. My radius was very small. You can set your radius. So my mom told me, expand your radius. You never know who you're going to meet. You'll find someone that wants to come to you. So I did, and that's how I ended up meeting Mitch, because he was going farther away. He wasn't in Toms River at the time, but he was living in Union, New Jersey. So when I expanded my radius, I was able to match with Mitch, and then we kept talking.
And then the rest was history.
Yeah,
This
we-
was like March 2020, right? Or
our
like,
first date was in
February.
February,
okay.
and Mitch was late because he went in the wrong direction.
There's even a better story to that prior to our first date, if you remember, is that we were messaging on Bumble, and I think 3 or 4 days into us messaging, I went away for about a week in Europe. So I had like no phone service really. I didn't pay for the plan. I just wanted to go and
Well outside the radius.
well outside the radius. A lot of roaming charges, yes. And before I left, she was like, "Let's grab a drink. Let's go out." Blah 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 blah. And I was like, "Oh yeah, for sure, totally." And then I got back to the United States. I don't mean to be mean, but I just forgot. I got
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
You know, I was kind of recollecting. I had work. the
You were on a
next day,
high.
you know. It was yes, it definitely was.
Yeah.
And I think that was like on Sunday I got back. On like Wednesday, she had sent me a message like, "So when are we grabbing that drink?" And I felt so bad. I was like, "Oh, I completely forgot." Like I felt so bad. She was so sweet. She was so nice. She loved Blink 182. And I felt really, really bad. I was like, "Oh, I can't believe I forgot." And it wasn't like a day or two, which would have been weird. It was the perfect amount of time. She waited 3 days and was like, "So like we going out?"
Tori,
or
I
what's
love
up?"
that for you.
Okay, can I be honest?
Yeah.
The reason why I was messaging Mitch was because I was still going out with other people, and I just was not still messaging, but the reason why I was so eager to go out on a date with him was because I just had a really bad experience, and I was like, all right, I just need to go out with someone again, and
It just happens to be
it happened
him.
that
Michael
yeah.
Jordan rebound right there.
Did
Just
you know this
beautiful.
until just now?
No, she told me a little while ago, and I could just
Oh, okay.
and I just had a what? But yeah, sunk my my battleship pretty heavily. I was like, "What? Seriously? Like
well,
that's
the
mean."
New York dating scene is so intense, and you have to for me, I felt like I had to constantly be going out on dates and like just being proactive. And Mitch came from a different, more like homegrown perspective where you aren't going out, like if you're going out with someone, you're going out with just that one person.
Yeah, you're literally fighting for your life
Which
on the New York dating scene. So
exactly. So I had experienced what 5 years of that mentality of just like you only get a few dates with someone and then like there's just so many options. I didn't like it, but like I knew I wanted to be in a relationship, so I was constantly going out on dates and dating around. But Mitch didn't really our dating styles didn't match up there.
did you have a good first date?
No.
Okay.
I thought we did. That's the disparity here. Is I thought we did. I had a great time, and we went to Ruby Rosa in Little Italy. In Little Italy, pasta. That's kind of what I thought. I was like, oh, we're gonna get pasta, whatever.
No, we had been talking about pizza
Fair.
Mm.
We did
for
talk.
forever. And I was like, we're going to get pizza. And Ruby Rosa has good pizza. So this guy comes up and orders tortellini.
I mean, sounds on brand for me, tortellini.
When in Rome.
It was ravioli.
Oh.
My bad.
Either way, still delicious. But I like I said, I don't know much about the little boroughs of New York City, of Manhattan. I don't know. So I was trying to be nice. I don't want to almost be like immature. I don't want to be immature and like order pizza on a first date. Like, oh, can I get the cheese pizza on a first date, please? So that was my mindset
Aw.
going into it. And I think the big disparity, the big problem she had was I didn't have a second glass, or I had a second glass of wine. I didn't have a third glass of wine. When they asked to refill, I was like, no, I'm okay. And I guess to her, that
Oh.
was like a red flag.
That's a red flag.
Mm.
It's a signal.
That
And
you want
I-
the date to end.
News to me.
Mm.
I was like, I have to go home. I have to get up for work in the morning. Like, I have to,
Wow.
it was an hour and 15-minute commute for me. I didn't want to be like loaded on the train going home, and then I have to get up at like 5:30 the next morning to go to work.
You enjoyed the date. You just stopped because you wanted to commute home, but she thought that like you stopped it because you weren't enjoying yourself.
Yes, she saw that as like an immediate.
Did
red
you
flag.
text her
Yeah.
after?
I did when I got home. I was like, hey, had a great time. Well, what happened was I shared an Uber back to her place, and it is a rule that actually one of my brothers had told me is you never kiss on the first date. That is a thing. It'd be only for the reason of only
You're
for the
getting bad dating advice out here.
Chanel, your face right now.
only for the reason of he said is that if the date doesn't go well, it's no skin off each other's back. It just wasn't a good date. You go back, but if it was a good date and you don't, it's like you leave it for the next date. You know, it builds that suspense for the next date. And that's, I mean, he told me that when I was 13. I was like, that's
Wow.
that's the greatest thing I ever heard. Thanks, brother. I appreciate
Words
it.
to live by.
Yeah.
Holy moly!
So here I am, like just being
He didn't
my
kiss
dude.
me. He only stopped after 2 drinks.
You ordered
Right.
pizza.
He didn't order
He
pizza.
didn't order pizza.
Didn't
So
order
I'm
pizza.
like, yeah, and the date was going well. I mean,
Yeah.
he was late, but okay. Didn't know where he was going. Fine. I was there. I was like, is this guy going to stand me up? Shows up. I'm like, okay. We get drinks and then go to the restaurant. Then we get to the restaurant and they asked me, do you want another glass of wine? And I was like, sure. And he was like, no. And I'm like, oh, this is a sign. So then we're ordering. He's like, yeah, I'm going to get the ravioli. I'm like, we've been talking about pizza. Like at the reason I brought you here was for the pizza. So then I was like, maybe he's not into sharing food with me. And then like we go to leave and he just like we share the Uber back and then he hugs me and I'm like I was just like, okay, that was friendly. Like I was getting like a friendly vibe. Nothing bad about him. It was more that the cues were that he wasn't into me. And I thought just from all the rejection I had received from dating, that's how I was trained. But for him, that was like he was just doing dating how he thought he should be
doing
doing
dating.
the date.
Yeah, I didn't want to be belligerent with the third, fourth glass of wine. I mean, I was in the Uber going home. I was like, that was great. I had a
and she
great
just got the
time.
wrong signals.
I
Yeah.
literally closed the car door and was like, well, that was weird. I was like, I guess that won't happen.
Well,
again.
something must have switched because I remember seeing you like 3 weeks later and you were telling me about Mitch and you had good vibes. Like you were like, I can tell he really likes me. I'm really into him. Like it was like all good.
Yeah.
I can't really remember you telling me about your first date for some reason.
I don't know. Maybe because I didn't even know how to
Yeah, how to
go
interpret it.
about it.
Yeah. But I remember you talking about him very early on and having good things to say. So
Yeah.
you must have switched up your cues at some point because
Well, he just was persistent.
yeah.
And he kept reaching out. He came up with fun date ideas. He took me to the zoo one time. And then I think our third, I can't remember. Oh, we went to Barcade in East Village. Like we had fun together. And that was like what I was looking for in a partner, was doing these fun things.
Mhm.
And I just realized we had a lot in common. I eventually stopped it, like dating other people.
Good for
Thank-
you.
Thank
I
God.
think it was only like a few dates in. And then the pandemic, we went to the Jersey Shore. It was my first time on the Jersey Shore. Mitch took me to meet all of his friends, and the pandemic happened like the week later.
I remember that. You were going to Bar A or something. It was like St. Patty's Day. So do you guys have your anniversary from the day he asked you to be his girlfriend or from like your first date?
We do it in March.
In March.
March 8th.
March 8th.
Okay.
We kind of had that blurry period where we're like,
Why March 8th?
That's when you asked, but we forgot what day it was too, because I think we just got wrapped up into all of this COVID stuff.
Right.
And then, and you guys are a COVID couple too. I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm like excited to get to your side. But I think like with COVID, we kind of lost track of when the actual anniversary was.
Right.
But I do remember him asking me to be his girlfriend, and he was like, "So we're like, what did you say?"
I don't even remember what I said, but I just remember you being a little bit skeptical. I remember your face. You kind of had like that. Oh, like your eyebrows went up. Like
I still
your
thought the
face
first
got
date went
very
bad.
tight. Yes.
You're
Of like a month and a half later, I didn't ask, and like I saw her face just stretch, and I just was like, "That was a dumb question."
That's relatable.
Oh, really?
I
Highly.
just looked at him and I was like, oh.
Highly.
Oh, I can't wait now. I can't wait to hear the story. But I think it goes back to like my dating experience.
Yeah.
The last relationship I had been in, I had my heart broken, and I still think I was healing from that. I was still dating, but I didn't know where I was going in my relationship journey. But to me, everything was moving quickly. I was used to being strung along.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I just wasn't so used to someone being so sure. But that's also one of the things I really admire about Mitch, is that he's very sure about things. And like, that's why he moves quickly, because he doesn't waste time overthinking.
We love that, Mitch. We love a confident guy, honestly. We love a guy who knows what he wants.
He wanted the tortellini.
Nice.
Martin, that was so good.
Nice tie back.
Martin,
Oh.
it was the ravioli,
It was the ravioli.
3 cheese.
Wow, okay.
Book
cheese.
it.
But I said, but
Yeah.
okay, I'm really excited to hear about how you guys met. So Chanel, do you want to say, or do you want Martin to?
I want you to.
Ooh, the quiet one in the corner now gets
Yeah.
a chance.
I just want to start by saying I think it's crazy that like the love of your life could be just outside of your radius. I think that's crazy though, right?
Thanks.
It is crazy.
Adding a mile or two.
It's mile 11 in your 10-mile radius.
Yeah, but think about that,
Yeah, that's true.
right?
That is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
And I think a lot of people probably are similar to my mindset, where your love of your life is bound to be close by you.
Right.
But think about how big the world is.
Yeah.
I
just
mean,
an extra mile or two
It's
changed
crazy.
it.
Yeah. I mean,
crazy.
I believe in soulmates, so maybe there are there's other soulmates out in the world. Like, I think you have multiple soulmates, but you do have to find someone that's
Sorry, Mitch.
near you. But you guys are far apart. Like, why is Martin even here? He's Canadian.
I know.
Why am I here?
Yeah. Yeah. What was that radius?
Let's go
like?
way
Yeah.
back.
I still don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Babe, tell him how we met.
So, pandemic couple.
I remember Chanel telling me about this guy.
I'm
while
the
we were-
guy.
This,
Everybody, I'm the guy.
This is what I was living for, because I was living with my parents. So I was rooting for you, Martin.
Yeah.
She told me you were Canadian. I was like, they are just the nicest people. on
Lock it
earth.
in.
Yeah, it's an automatic win in my book of
Yeah.
the 3 months that Tori and I have been seeing each other. Not that my opinion mattered, but
Oh, well, thank you.
I wanted to put it in.
Thank you. I'm glad I had a cheerleader somewhere. Yeah. So yeah, we matched on Hinge.
Okay, another dating app.
Yeah, another dating app. And so we matched. I jumped back onto dating apps. This was May, mainly because as soon as the pandemic hit, I just knew that it was too easy to like revert to that. Like in the house, it's just too easy to just sit and like swipe, right? So I was on a break for a couple months from it, and then I decided to jump back on it. And I think things just kind of lined up. I
What
ended
made
up.
you swipe on Chanel?
Well, I actually.
I
Sorry,
feel like I should tell the story.
Yeah. Well, also keep in mind this is how stories are told between us.
I
I like to
mean-
get every detail.
He's like, so it was 1995, and I was just born 2 years ago.
That's I'm the same way though. I'll tell stories in the most ridiculous detail and
Yeah.
like just get to the end.
Yeah,
dude.
I know
mean,
we're gonna talk about
Wrap
pet
this up,
peeves.
please.
Nah,
I think we're gonna talk about pet peeves.
Yeah, we
but
are.
I'm about that.
That's one of mine.
Okay,
So yeah. So we ended up matching. Okay.
okay.
Oh.
I should tell the story. Okay, so I liked you on Hinge, right? I liked you
That's right.
first. And then talk about how you saw me pop up and you were like, wow, who is this?
I'm
Who is this
basically giving you an
beauty?
alley oop to be like,
Yeah.
compliment.
Yeah. No.
You're
this
out
is-
here like, so I was taking a break. like, no.
He has a cigarette in his mouth.
Yeah.
Ah,
It was 2020.
It
Con-
was 2020.
there was a light rain.
Look.
no one was outside.
keep in mind, I haven't sounded like that this whole time.
I think you have.
Okay.
I think so.
Well,
Dang.
context is very important. Also.
Okay, but the people want to hear about what you thought about me. Tell them.
Well, yeah, I mean, you sent the like through, and I was just like, this is, she is completely out of my league.
Aw.
Completely.
Aw.
There's no chance. But I was like, she sent it to me, so
There is a chance.
it's a done deal. Yeah.
Oh, it's done.
Um,
That's the
And
Mitch
you sent the
confidence.
first message because
Love
it
it.
was on Hinge.
I sent the first message. That's right. Because I was going off the prompts,
Okay.
and one of the prompts was about favorite food,
Mm.
right? And then one was
It was what's my love language,
Love
and
language,
I wrote
that's
tacos and words of affirmation.
That's right.
That sounds
So-
like Chanel.
So I said, if I took you for tacos, or if I gave you tacos and I told you you were pretty, something.
No.
Yep.
So do
You
you
could
remember?
basically propose after that. That's all Chanel wants.
You said so if I gave you tacos. No, you said so if.
Same thing.
Hold on.
Keep going.
Pull up the receipts.
It's
pull
the
up
same
receipts.
thing.
Yeah, I think that is actually pretty close to what he
You
was
said
saying.
something like if I gave you tacos, and if you cooked tacos and I told you they were good, or something like
No,
that.
no,
You didn't
I
say
gave
anything
you
about
the
me being
compliment.
pretty.
No, I didn't.
No,
Martin,
you
do you have the
didn't.
pictures on your phone?
It's
She
in my
does.
favorites.
Yeah,
Oh.
Martin, I won the
Myself.
last battle. I think
We
we're
can
gonna pull
pause it.
strong.
Another one for the guys.
Let's bring one home for the home
Yeah.
team. dude.
Okay, we got the.
Okay, I
we
got
the
the
receipts.
receipts.
Let's go.
So if I tell you how amazing the tacos were that you made, that would be like love overdose. Yeah? Nothing about me being beautiful. So just wanted to clarify
He
that.
thought it though. He thought it, but he didn't. He didn't want to like be too aggressive.
Yeah.
He wanted to be cool.
Great opener though.
Yeah, you
opener.
related
It
it to
worked.
my profile. And then you talked about green Thai curry when I said what would be
Ooh.
your love language, and you were like, if you would just give me green Thai curry, my heart would also burst.
Right.
And that's still true to this day.
Still.
And then that was like a week before. No, we FaceTimed.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. What was this like bonding experience like when you couldn't really set up a date like for tomorrow? Like you were still in that quarantine period,
Yeah,
right?
it was May 2020.
I think you should speak a little bit to like the time between when we matched, when we started talking, and by the time we actually like got to.
Yeah, it was May
Steps.
2020. We FaceTimed for our first date like 5 days after, and the whole time I'm planning on trying to move to London. Also, I was like
Oh.
filling out applications for school because I'm like, this COVID thing's not going to last forever. And I spoke about how I wanted to move to London, so I was like trying to do that. I was actually telling him about it, and he's like, "Yeah, you can do it. Like, put your mind to it. Like, you can totally do it." Like, he was like supporting me, and we hadn't even met yet, and we were just like texting, and then we FaceTimed like maybe 4 days after we matched, and then it was like the side profile the whole time. He was like on his computer doing
Working.
something, and
You
it was
were
like,
working on your first date.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
and then 2 days after that. It was like 2 or 3 days after we went on our first date, which was at my apartment. And we watched a movie.
What
It was
movie?
Yeah. It was.
Ben Stiller and Adam
Oh,
Driver and Ben Stiller.
now you know, or you know something.
He came in hot.
Oh, really?
He was just
No.
like, he immediately came in.
No. Physically hot. Physically hot.
Oh, you came in hot. Like,
Is this what you want?
ready to ready
Like
to,
the Bruce Almighty with the clothes off?
He came in ready to complain about. I forgot. It was
Yeah,
like
well, I walked from 112th
Yeah.
down to
90
91st.
Yeah, and it was hot, and he had
Yeah.
his mask on, and it was like,
And the city's hot.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
just a lot.
Well, it was
and he
May,
had to wash his
so it was-
hands.
And you were living on like a fourth floor walk up, or like
Yes,
you were
yeah,
walk
it was like
up
a
on the
third floor walk
Third
up.
floor, yeah.
Yeah, on 91st Street, but it was good. I mean, you came over at like 3 and you stayed till like 1 a.m.
Whoa.
Yeah, so you stayed
Great.
for a while. We watched that movie, then another movie, and then from there, we honestly saw each other like every day after that, like because it was COVID. We had nothing else to do. I was moving out of my apartment from the Upper East Side in like a month,
Mm-hmm.
so I was trying to make the most of it. And then there was one date. It was our third or fourth date, and I was like, "Why don't you do something that you want to bring over, and I can do something, and we'll surprise each other with whatever that is, like an activity or something fun." So, what'd you bring?
I brought bananagrams.
The little word
The game. Yep.
And what'd you bring?
And I bought stuff to bake cookies because he had said that he's not a good baker or never baked or something.
Great cook though.
Yeah. So I bought cookies for us to bake. We baked and then did bananagrams, and then we were watching TV. and
Yeah,
it
but
was-
you also put together an amazing playlist for us.
Oh yeah, the quarantine playlist.
Yeah.
So we have very different music tastes. I like more like EDM, Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift, pop, kind of top 40, and he likes more rap, Drake, like
Mhm.
other rap artists that I've never really heard of. So I kind of asked him his
Drake.
top
Drake.
3.
I know. I was
No,
like,
Drake I know. I love Drake. I'm saying other rap
Yeah,
artists.
yeah, yeah.
And I had asked him a few days ago like what his favorite rap artists are, and he told me, and I just went on Spotify and like took their like top songs and
Aw,
put it in a
cute.
playlist with Ed Sheeran.
With Ed Sheeran.
And we still listen to that.
Yeah, and I
Aw.
put a playlist together, and it was like rap and then like photograph from Ed Sheeran. And then it was like our fourth date, and he asked me to be his girlfriend. And
And
I
you
think I went
said-
through the same thing as you.
You were shocked?
Yeah, I was shocked, and I was like, I told him it doesn't feel genuine, and we still laugh about
Ooh.
it.
Why?
I don't laugh about it.
We're laughing now.
Because I think I went through something similar as you of like I didn't trust
Yeah.
like men, and like I was just in the phase of like my dating history was very like I didn't trust what guys
non-committal.
said. It was non-committal. A lot of situationships. A lot of guys who didn't want to commit, and guys who said they liked me 1 minute and then in a month they didn't. So I just felt
Right.
like I wanted to give him a chance to really trust that he wanted to be with me. But I think he knew that he did. I just didn't know that he did.
Right.
So I needed a little bit more time.
Yeah.
And
And
how did you know?
It's just a feeling. Like honestly, I don't know. I think there's more like nuances. I don't know. I just think it is more nuanced. I think it's like, it does sound quite cliche, kind of to say like, like when you know, but like you do.
That's
That's all there's to say. Like,
Because what Chanel and I understand how we as women view partners, but and what we're looking for, but I don't know. I've never heard from a guy's perspective.
Yeah, I think too many people try to like quantify what it is, that I like this, and I like this, and I like this, and so on and so forth. That's not how it is, especially in the moment of like when you're going to ask. It's more okay, yeah, like something in my gut, in my chest, in my head is they're all communicating, it's saying the same thing. It's like, hey, this is something I want to pursue. I think this is something that's in better terms worth it. Let's ask. We'll and go on from there. And I think, I guess as you two talk about, you don't really understand that. I guess from like a guy's side, but as a guy, it's such a simple thing of like, okay, one, stomach, chest, head, all communicating, saying the same thing. It's very nerve wracking. Any guy who says it's not nerve wracking is a liar. And I think most men have a fear of rejection, and that's what it is. If you ask and then it's a no, it's a horrible feeling. And anybody who's like, oh, whatever, it's like you are a liar, and I know you are.
So was it an immediate yes for you,
No,
Chanel?
I said no.
Okay.
I said no, and now knowing him, I feel I laugh about it because I'm like, knowing you now, like you were probably so upset.
How
Yeah.
were you, Martin?
not well at all. At all. But I do want to say something to what Mitch just said though. Is like I think I don't want to speak more broadly about guys, but like when I was dating, I felt like, what I was finding first off in a profile, then to the conversation, I knew enough. Like I was kind of going in, like I wasn't going to go to the date if I hadn't figured out enough that I had, seen through a profile and a conversation to feel comfortable. Like, yeah, there's more to this. You two can probably speak more to this side. Is like for women, it's like maybe you give more men like more of a chance,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
So you're saying you look at
Yeah.
a profile and you need it to match up to what you want for you to
Yeah,
even go on a
right.
date. But for us, it's like, okay, he's cute. Maybe he doesn't have like the best career or whatever,
Yeah.
and like, but we'll go.
But also
But
think about it, like it's historically been in the man's position to control the situation. Even as we're telling the story, it was, when did he ask you?
yeah,
It's not really so much as women asking men. And if you do ask from a woman's perspective, you're pushy and you're really like stepping out of your comfort zone. I know it's uncomfortable for men probably, and it's scary because you're a person. And it's just for women, we're not raised to think it's within our control to ask, do you want to be my boyfriend? I think that's changing, but for me personally, I don't know about Chanel, that's how it is.
I agree to that part, but there are a lot of things there that I also do disagree with. I think, especially in the first matching stages and the first talking stages, it's all in the women's control. It's the men
Well, it's
are
an
the
icebreaker.
yeah, but the men are the ones that are chasing. I feel the women
Mm.
are. I mean, we're trying to
Mm.
keep the conversation. We're trying to keep it interesting. We don't want to bore you to where you're like, oh, this guy's boring. Okay, next one. That was my biggest fear. Is as Tori was the city girl. I know that you. Yeah, there's 9 million people that are at your disposal. I was the lucky one that you swiped on and started a conversation with, but I knew I had to keep that.
Mitch, do you feel like when you looked at a girl's profile, she had to have all the things in order for you to want to talk to her?
No, I have my own, I guess, checklist if we
Yeah.
call it that. But you don't have to hit every spot on the checklist, mainly because I know I'm like an independent person. So I can have things to myself. That's fine. Like I'm a huge sports fan. If you're not into the sports I am,
Mm.
that's fine. It's not the end of the world. I'll just do that on my own time. But yeah, I mean, obviously, there's a core couple of things that I would like, for my partner to have, which Tori does have. So
Thank God.
makes it a easier. Yes,
I don't know what they are.
thank goodness.
We'll find out.
You'll find out on my deathbed. I'm just be like, oh, that.
No, this is your deathbed because we're finding out on the podcast, buddy.
So back to what I was saying before. Yeah, so there are some things, yes, but there's a lot of little things. I also like to think of myself as easygoing, so I don't make or break on certain things. I'm just like, okay, no big deal. On to the next part of my life, whatever.
I think I understand what you're saying and I hear what you're saying, but the way that New York City dating is, not a lot of men think like you and Martin. I think it's become, there's so much accessibility to more women that women have this feeling of, you feel devalued, but I think that that's just the skew is off here in New York City, where not all men are thinking the way, like, if I want this individual person. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, Chanel, if you can help me here in trying to say what I'm trying to say.
No, I get what you're saying. I mean, I think we both went through similar situations of like dating people where we didn't feel valued. And then we finally met guys who valued us as people. And we were like, wait, what the heck? Like, what
Yeah.
do we do with this? I guess I just am wondering, did you go on dates and feel like you were only going on dates with girls that you knew you might want to ask to be more serious with? Or were you just looking at girls and being like, oh, yeah, she's fine enough. I'll go on a date with her?
No. In the beginning, when I got to New York, I was interested in going on lots of dates for a few reasons. Basically because I wanted to familiarize myself with the city and the different neighborhoods. And then I wanted to go to a lot of different restaurants and eat a lot of different food. And great, if I meet a lot of great people along the way, even better. So in the beginning, I was going on dates to kind of, I was kind of using that as a vessel to sort of expose myself to more of New York. And then I feel like I did sort of tap in a little bit and understand really just like the animal that dating is in New York. I mean, it was like I would like seriously, like I would run out of likes before girls because the amount of people, like the pool here is just ridiculous.
Does that mean you were liking too many girls or not enough girls?
Too
Running
many.
out of likes.
Oh,
Yeah.
you like too many girls?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
Well, he was shooting a shot.
yeah. Well,
Big
also,
city. He's got to get his way
no,
around.
well, think of it
I'm
like
just
that. I
kidding.
just, okay.
Right as you said that, she looked over and I was like, oh no.
I looked at Mitch.
Yeah, you're sitting there
He's like,
like,
what do I do?
I mean, at that point, it's like just roll with it.
no, but it's
well,
fine.
Hinge gives you like 10 like minimum a day unless you have
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
premium
yeah,
account
yeah.
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
25 on the premium. Not that I would know.
Which,
Mitch, how many online dates did you go on?
I think like 3.
Okay.
oh, really?
Just about.
Just
yeah,
3?
Just about 3. Yeah.
Wow.
Babe, how many did you go on?
Um,
72.
Lose count.
in my
Oh.
first, yeah, like in my first 4 months, I was seriously going out maybe, it was 4 to 6 times a week.
Wow. Holy moly.
And that's
Okay,
average.
And you moved here 2019 from Canada, August 2019.
Correct.
You were dating for a while, then the pandemic happened in March 2020, so you probably stopped dating. And then we met in May 2020.
Correct.
I had just started going on the apps during when we met because I had taken a break because I was, like Tori was saying, exhausted of the dating scene in New York because it's like a literal fight for your life.
Mm.
And I had deleted it in December of 2019 and I didn't have it for like the first 5 months of 2020. I was just like kind of chilling. And then because I was in the pandemic for like 2 months, I was like, I need to do something. I'm bored. And I downloaded it because I had moved home for the month of April and then I came back to New York in May and I was like, I need to do something with my life. And I downloaded it like the first week of May and I think we matched probably the first or second week that I downloaded it. And then that's when we went on our date. And then so we say our anniversary is May 17th because that was our first date.
Right.
And then I think, especially because it was COVID, we literally didn't date anyone else. Like it was just
Yeah.
us
Yeah.
from that point on.
That's exactly what happened. So and with COVID, I ended up needing to. My mom was freaking out. She was like, "They're gonna close the city down." It was like she thought like bridges were gonna be shut off, trains were gonna be. I mean,
Kind
they
of.
did, yeah, but like
Yeah.
she thought I was gonna be trapped here, which I don't know if anyone was. I don't. No one was ever trapped, right?
Unclear.
Yeah. Okay. She thought so. Well, anyways, Mitch and I had been going out. I was sick. I 99.9% sure I had COVID, and because I lost my sense of taste and smell. But anyways, so my mom was like, "You need to come home." So I was like, "Okay," but I didn't have a car, so I didn't want to take Metro North, knowing that this
Mhm.
thing was spreading. So Mitch was like, "I have a car. I'll drive you." So like literally maybe our 4th date, Mitch drove me back to Connecticut, met my family, stayed with us.
COVID relationships are wild
And-
you accelerate so much.
Yeah, I think you were. To me, it was just a ride. I'm like, oh, I'm helping out, sure,
Yeah.
whatever. And when I first brought up, same face, just the eyebrows up, like, what? No. Like I saw the no on your face, but I knew you had to get home, so it was kind of like, okay, I know, but I really need to get home, so I have to take I have to do this. So I'm driving up, we're driving up, and I'm easy going, listening to music, having a great time, and I could just see like her knuckles were getting white because she was like clenching. She's like so nervous that I'm going
Aw.
to meet her family on the
It was
fourth
just
date.
it was just a nerve wrack. Like COVID was like everything was just crazy. I don't know. It was just bringing someone home for the first time was a little intimidating. And the whole time we were in the pandemic, Mitch kept driving up to see me every 2 weeks. So he would come and stay for like a week or 2 weeks, and then he would go back. And we were very nervous about COVID, obviously. So he would quarantine and then kept doing it until we decided to move in together in 2021. So like I feel like COVID fast tracked our relationships for both of us, and I think it's really funny how it just was a weird time where you kind of, for like a loss of a better word, stuck with someone and you had
Yeah.
to see it through, and it made people reassess dating,
Mm-hmm.
which it's great because it gave us the time to focus our energy into one person as people normally do and find people that we really love. So what do you guys love about each other?
You go first.
Well, so I can't remember when this was. It was either the end of 2021 or maybe the summer of 2021, whenever it was. We we had some idea that we were going to make starter packs for each other.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
I
Yeah.
do remember that.
And we were going to share it. Like we thought it was like,
Yeah.
it might have been for a Valentine's or something. And it was just something to share because like at that time, it was like funny, like memes. Like there's so many memes going around that were like
What's a starter pack?
a
Like
start.
it's like 90s starter pack, and it's like a backpack and like a Game Boy and like
All the things.
hard glasses.
Yeah.
Anything that makes 90s.
Right.
I see. Cute. Okay.
Yeah, so
So-
we're gonna make starter packs for each other.
That's right. We were going to make one for each other.
We never did. I forgot about that.
I
Oh.
made one.
Oh,
I made
okay.
one, and I was fully ready. I was fully ready
Why do you have so many things on that list?
because there's a lot of things about you.
Wait, this is your list of the things you love about Chanel?
This is her starter pack.
Oh, wait, this is a Chanel starter pack.
This is a Chanel starter
Yeah.
pack.
Oh, okay, thank you. I wasn't putting the pieces together.
It's
I
a
got it.
Chanel starter
Right.
pack.
So
Okay.
you would like the starter pack has like photoshopped images and you look at it and you're just like, yeah, that's
Got it.
That's
It's like
who
a
she
mood
is.
board of
Yeah,
Right.
right,
person.
exactly. So my mood board would be very congested or it would be multiple pages. So I did try to put a lot of thought into this, mainly because I started getting a little bit critical about the way that you talk about someone that you love. Because I feel like when I started thinking about the things that I love about you, I started thinking that, a lot of the things are they're sort of like self-serving. When you say, oh, the thing that I love about this person is like how much they care about me and how much they give me attention.
Like what I do for you.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So when I started thinking about all these things, I'm just like, well, these are also things that you just look for in someone.
Mhm.
Even when you think about like, dating shows, right? And like someone will
I
they'll
get
be
what
like
you're saying. You're saying
they'll be like, what are you looking for in a guy? Or what are you looking
he's
for in
loyal,
a girl?
He's
loyal,
trustworthy.
he's trustworthy,
Right.
right? It's
he
like,
treats
of
me
course.
right. Okay.
Right.
So
Of
you're
course you're looking
saying
for that.
you looked at me independently and you were like, what do I love about
I
you?
looked at like all of these things
Okay.
that I actually just loved about like who you were as a person.
Okay.
Right.
What'd
And
you come up with?
Well,
Chanel's pushing this along. She's like, Martin's trying to be like really philosophical and get it
But this
across.
is-
She's like, all right, come on.
Show me this list.
when I looked at the list of the starter pack, for example, all of these things are things that like characteristically like make you who you are. They're all just like very kind of like simple things that I think like I know about you and maybe some people might know about you, but to me, because I just have like a closer relationship with these things, they mean something. Honestly, this might sound silly to people, but like she has a plant that she has killed. I've lost count how many times she's killed this plant.
She's surviving.
She kills it after 3 or 4 weeks without water. It'll be completely dead, and it'll be so upsetting. And it's like she never saw it coming. And I'm watching this plant day by day just die,
Yeah.
right? But the way that she acts as if like she never saw it coming. Like
She gets emotional about
that's
it.
something that I absolutely love that she does.
Love that I
right?
kill plants.
No, but I just love that like
I think he loves your emotion.
I
and-
just one of the things and I know I've told you this too. One of the things that I do love about Chanel is the way that she does care about her friends. And she did, like you did really teach me what it means to, be a friend to somebody.
Aw.
I'm like I don't have like, a ton of friends.
Yeah,
Chanel
we're in the
has
same boat here.
the most friends ever. I had never experienced that in my life. I didn't know so many people could know so many people.
Martin, I think I
like-
said those exact same words on
Yeah.
the podcast before.
Yeah, I didn't know someone could know this many people. And it was crazy to me that it's like everybody that she knew loved her the same amount. And then, it took time, like, months and like, years go by and like you just see like how much effort she puts into her friendships, how much care she puts into, having conversations with her friends, that matter. And just, making sure that those relationships are upkept as well.
Mhm.
I just never seen like a better example of that. And I
Same.
think for her, for all her friends, like it really is beautiful. It is.
Aw.
And that's something, that I really love about her. And I feel like she's, as much as I don't like humans at all, shout out to all the dogs out there.
Brody.
she has taught me a lot, like, what it means, to keep good relationships.
That's sweet, babe. So I'm a good friend and I kill plants. And I'm upset about it.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised every time she does.
And then
other
just
day,
like all of the other things, all the other great things.
Like what?
And I was like, keep going. Keep going.
No.
The fact that you gendered that plant you've killed so many times.
Yeah.
I can't believe Audrey died again.
We put
Yeah.
up curtains and it was on our windowsill in our bedroom. We put up curtains and I forgot about her. And literally yesterday I was like, oh my God, we put up curtains. When did you come over? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I forgot about her.
And it was 3 weeks before that the
And I
plant
was like,
got,
she's dying.
got
I was
watered,
like, I have
yeah.
to put her in a place where she's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
I was like, can't believe she died back here. Who did that?
She's in the corners. I hate it here.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Do you have any more? Should I go?
No, I mean, I think you're obviously very, you're very loving and you're very compassionate, to everybody in your life. And I'm really lucky that, I get a lot of that.
I think that's really great. And what I noticed when you were talking about Chanel is those are, and yourself, those are things that you don't necessarily have in your own personality that you are seeing through her and get to experience because you two have brought each other into your worlds. And I hate to say like opposites attract, but I do think there's something to that.
No, it's true. She is, the best things that I'm not.
Aw.
Like,
And you
she
keep
really
plants
is.
alive.
I'm
we have
great with
plants in
yes.
our apartment that you keep
Yeah.
alive.
So do you just specifically let her have this one plant
Yes,
that dies?
Yeah,
plants.
she doesn't
Yeah.
touch the other ones.
No.
Got it. Okay.
They're
Um,
his.
So Audrey's still dead. but
Audrey's
all
still
the other
dead.
plants are still fully alive.
I've had her for 2 years. She comes back.
So Chanel, what do you love about Martini?
Well, now that he said a lot of the things are self-serving, I feel weird about what I'm
no,
gonna
no,
say.
no. That's
No.
that's his perspective.
But
Yeah.
okay. So I was gonna say I love how thoughtful he is and how much he remembers things. I'll literally we'll be walking. This is an actual example. Like we were walking and I saw a girl with these sneakers on and I was like, oh, I like those sneakers. And then we kept walking. Literally 4 months later for one of our anniversaries, he got me the sneakers because he just remembered that I liked them.
I like that for you. I like that a lot.
And he's good with gifts, but he's also good at remembering random things. I'll be like, oh, I like this restaurant, and I'll mention it in a conversation, or my suitcase broke and whatever, or oh, I want to see this thing. He just remembers things that I say in passing that I don't give a second thought to, and he'll either get it as a gift or remember it or make a reservation or bring it up later in conversation or be like, I thought about what you said and here's how I want to help. He just remembers things that I say and comes back full circle and helps me with that. So I do love that. And he does these little dance moves.
Okay.
This is going to be on TikTok later.
He does dance moves when he's happy or
Can we see one right
just
now?
in general.
Not a chance.
And I feel not a lot of people get to see it, but when I do, it makes me literally the happiest person ever. Sometimes he'll just go in the room and do a dance move, and I'm literally my day was made. Because he's all about the wrists. He's very in the wrist and the neck. And
Wrists, neck,
yeah.
knees, and ankles.
Oh, I saw that at your move-in party. I was wondering what that was.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
yeah.
It makes me so sometimes I'll start doing it so that he'll be like, that's not how it's done, and then he'll do it.
All about the joints.
I just want to see him do the dance.
That's right.
Very angular.
Yeah, it's so good. And he has a very close relationship with his mom and sisters. And I just love that he's so close with them and he cares about his mom so much. And I think it translates to how he treats me. So yeah, those are just a few of the things.
That's
I never did
sweet.
his starter pack though.
I knew that.
I think I can make his.
It's the Canada flag.
No, we got
No.
some gin in there.
Yeah, gin.
Got
Canada
got a
flag.
Drake mixtape.
Yeah.
Some cars.
The
like
word
old
introvert,
cars,
alone time.
Alone, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thai
Model
food,
cars,
yeah.
Porsche,
Mm-hmm.
nice watch, some nice clothes in there, some sneakers.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you just building the pack right now?
Yeah.
Speaking?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's us. How about you guys? Do you want to go first, Mitchie?
Sure. So
I'm nervous.
I'm actually following what you're saying. Is he's talking about like the self.
The self-serve. You're
So I'm
like, I
trying-
love how Tori.
I'm over here thinking. I was like, okay, like, what else?
I literally was when Martin was talking, I was like, Mitch did not give this much thought to this. Also, I
To
didn't
be
tell
fair,
Mitch.
I was gonna say I told Martin about this like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, make sure you prepare. Listen, think about it on your walks. You told Mitch like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I'm also just being a little bit more critical. So like, it's not that deep.
Yeah,
It can be, but it doesn't have to be.
totally.
Well, as after hearing that, thinking about it here, I have an internal thought and I have an external thought. So my internal thought, I think
What does that mean?
well, there's like something for me, and there's like something that I see with the people around us. So I think what I always wanted was to make sure that I was with somebody that always gave me a nice foundation, gave me a nice base. I know and you can even speak to it. I'm a bit of like an space cadet. I'm always kind of, she has to wrangle me in a little bit sometimes with a lot of different things. So, and I think she kind of gives me that support. But I think no matter what I want to do, whether in the moment or with my life or with the house, anything like that, she'll raise her concerns, she'll ask the questions, but I know if I truly want to do it, she'll end up going, okay, here's what I think. Okay, let's do it. And I don't have to ask the questions. I don't have to worry. I know she's going to be behind me, and I think that's something that a lot of couples don't think about, is having that support and that structure to kind of be able to. I don't want to say be honest, because you obviously should be honest with your significant other, but you can be outright and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. I think about this, and so on and so forth, and having your significant other kind of say, okay, here's what I think, ask the right questions, but ultimately have your back and have, make sure that you're okay and make sure that whatever you do, they support you 100%. And I think we've definitely had conversations going back and forth about, especially things that I want to do, with my life. And I know, even though you had the questions and the concerns, I know when the time comes when I do end up going through with it, that you're going to have my back 100%. And I think that's, like I said, it's something that really resonates with me, because I want to make sure, as the social butterfly and kind of the outgoing person that I am, that I have somebody behind me that has my back 100%. Going forward, I know that I would never not want to have.
With someone else?
I was trying to finish that thought, but I ran out of words, and I was like, oh wait,
He's like, those aren't the words.
I can't end my sentence with a period now.
But I appreciate that, and thank you. We've had a lot of conversations around it, so I don't want to put that expectation out there that this is just something that we unspokenly, it's like, yeah, great, go for it. Like, we've had disagreements, but I think what Mitch and I have really worked on is, even if we don't agree on something, or if I'm voicing a concern, it's still because I care about him and I want the best for him, and I'm looking out for him, which is what I kind of think you're getting at, in a way, because I don't want to, I do want to make it realistic, where I'm not like, just do whatever your heart wants to do. Like, I do want you to do that, but also make sure you're making good decisions. And I think support comes in a variety of ways, and it's not always agreeing with someone. It could also be looking out for someone's best interest and voicing, hey, if you're going to make this decision, these are concerns I have. So, okay, what else do you love about me?
So that was the internal. That's how I like internally think about things. But then I also see things like externally. Like I see things that happen around us, and it comes in. And we talk about it briefly, but it comes up a lot, where it comes into, like, I'm very close with my family. I'm very close with my friends. And a lot of the time when I'm setting up to meet up with my friends or with my family, all of them are just, oh, is Tori coming? Like, is she going to be there? Like, they kind of see us as a pair now. But I think that comes from the mark that you left on them. I mean, I know we've been together for a long time, but the mark you've left on them.
In Mitch's world, long time, 3 years.
Yeah,
That's a long time.
that is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're
All
the
right,
only
all right.
one who doesn't think that.
Yeah,
at
you
this
know, that's a
table.
long time. That's
Yes, 3 years
I
is
guess
a long
it's
time.
long.
So, yeah. So in the 3 years that we've been together, you have certainly left a mark on all of my friends and my family, and I know. I mean, I trust them 100%, and I know if they would look out for me, obviously, on the other side. And for the sheer fact that every time we go to see my dad, he's, oh yeah, like what's Tori up to? Is she coming? Is she coming? should we make this? Tori's a vegetarian. Okay, we'll make a vegetarian dish for her, no problem, so on and so forth. Same thing with like my mom. Okay, she's coming in. Okay, yeah, we'll make a vegetarian lasagna for sure. Easy enough. I meet up with my friends. Oh, is Tori coming by too?
We'll make sure there's vegetarian.
Yes. Yes. So, but you've left a mark on everybody in my life without me even being there. Because I've asked them what they've thought, and of course they said great things. But the conversations you guys have when I'm not around, I think, is what makes them go, "Oh, like is Tori coming? Like we want to see her."
Tori's a mark lever. She
I
likes to talk to people and get in their soul. She likes to have deep
Wow.
convos.
I do.
Yeah.
Martini and I have that in common.
So I think you
Go deep.
I think what's the thing is like me and Mitch can have like lots of conversations with many people because we're extroverts. We can talk to anybody. Like it is what it is. But I think like what you and Martin have in common is like you can find someone in a room and talk to them and make them feel really special and just like have a deep conversation about like many things in life. And I think that's probably what you do with like Mitch's friends and family. Like you probably like care. They see that you care and you have conversations that matter and people enjoy that. Like they want that around. So
Thanks. I appreciate that.
yeah.
But I think that's an interesting point about your friends and family liking me because I know we got a question from a listener about, what your friends and family think about your significant other. Do you think that your family would voice if they didn't like me?
100%.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean,
Yes, they're
I know
very-
my family would have concerns and like they've said their opinions and thoughts. I don't know about your family.
I think if you ever have a question about if someone likes or dislikes your significant other, you can ask them. I think
Yeah.
if you have concerns like, oh, does this person or does my family or whatever have concerns, you can sit down and be like, hey, like I'm getting this vibe or this feeling. Like, is there anything you want to talk about? Is there something about my partner that is making you uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Do you feel this way? Like, I think if you're close enough with your family or friends, you can talk about it.
And you should be receptive to hearing
The feedback. If you're willing to ask that question, yeah.
because your family and friends will have your best interest at heart, and if they see issues with something or if they like how someone's treating you, they'll let you know. And you should really think about that because I mean, when you're in a relationship, sometimes you get a little bit, what is it? Rose-colored glasses. Hey, like I'm wearing. And you forget, you get sucked into the relationship and not seeing the external factors. So I think it's good if you're able to talk about your relationship and partners with your friends and family.
And if you're giving feedback, I think you should just say it once and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, don't hammer it home if someone continues to like be with that person.
Exactly.
Okay, Tori, your turn.
My turn. I also did not prepare like at all for this. I'm very, if you know me, I'm
Off the cuff.
off the cuff, on the spot.
Who cares?
Okay. So now after Martin, I'm like, shit, like
No.
what?
No.
Don't know.
No, it's okay. But I mean, it's made me think a little bit differently. And I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I think it's a good takeaway for everyone listening. And when they think about their partners, what do you actually love about them?
Mm-hmm.
Not about
Mhm.
how they make you feel,
Mm-hmm.
but what do you love like about them? And it makes me think of those silly things. For me, I'll say like what I love about Mitch, for me, to be selfish, is that he is more of a free spirit than I am. He is more set to the wind and just like, okay, I'm going to do it, and he does it, and he doesn't overthink. I overthink a lot. I just constantly am overthinking. And even Mitch was joking last night. We went out for ice cream, and what were you saying?
Well, I
Sorry, he said it better than I will.
Well, I had like I tried 2 flavors. There's 2 new flavors I didn't really have before, and I liked them. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get them. But she'll sit there and she'll try. If she could, she would try like 25 different flavors and not pick any of them, and then like go to the next gelato store. But I'm gonna try
Wow.
that store now.
Girl.
She
Yeah.
she has such a fear of getting it wrong that she won't try to pick the right thing. Like if she gets ice cream and she's like, I like it, I don't love it. So now I'm upset, like that I only just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I have a hard time making a decision. So I love going to Trader Joe's because there's limited decisions. I realize as an adult, I get overwhelmed when I go to a bigger grocery store. There's too many options.
What does this have to do with Mitch?
Because
Please bring it home. She was like, when I go to Trader Joe's,
Just
Joe is not Mitch. I don't want to hear about Joe.
Let's
I
just
wanna hear
wrangle
about
that shit
Mitch.
up already.
I'll tell you how much I love about Rhodey and Trader Joe's. No, so I have a really hard time making decisions, and like Mitch is very patient with me, and I think like he's everything that I need in a partner. So like he's more go with the flow, and I need a little bit more of that. And I have a hard time making decisions, and he's patient with that, and he's caring and loving, all of those things to me that serve me and what I need and was looking for in a partner. Understanding, funny, goofy, all of those things. Likes Blink 182. So match made in heaven. But I think for Mitch personally, what I love about Mitch, I like when this is again about me, Martin. This is hard. Like all these things
Right,
about
and I think that was an important part about like making the comment, because one of my previous relationships, it was like, okay,
Chanel pours another glass of wine, makes a
Yeah.
makes a tea.
yeah, no, but um, it was interesting because we were both creatives. We both had a lot of similarities. We did all the things for each other, but at the end of the day, it just wasn't it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So everything, on paper can look right, but it didn't work. Why didn't it work? I think there's a lot of, I'm just going to use the word like nuance. I do think that it's such a personal thing
Yeah.
that like, I know how cliche it sounds, but it is seriously hard to put into words, right? Like, honestly, the fact that the two of you like Blink 182 is a thumbs up.
Yeah.
That would never be the make or break of the thing if neither of you felt this strongly about whatever the other things were,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
Because all of the things that that you look for, that we spoke about, like, trust, confidence, honesty, communication, all these things, those are things that of course,
Yeah.
of course I want those things, because at a certain point they are things that are like, they're good for you, but they're also good for me, because I want a stable relationship. I want security, and whatever the things are. But at the end of the day, I just love you.
Yeah. That's really nice.
Yeah.
So sorry, I didn't mean to throw the conversation, but I just think I was just trying to turn a more critical eye to it, I think.
No, I liked it though because it makes it's a challenge that I think we constantly need to be. We become content in relationships, and we don't take the time. And the purpose of doing this too is to really take time to think about what we do love in a partner. I was listening to something, I think it was Jay Shetty,
Yeah.
and he said most times that couples spend together now is watching TV,
Mm.
and they're not taking time to go on dates and get to know them and do new experiences. But it's the same thing as like what you need to take time to think about what you actually do love in your partner and tell them. And we don't do that a lot.
Yes.
And as you continue to talk, I really was stalling to think more.
I
on
think
this.
it's like more of an
No, I'm kidding.
individual as a person versus
Yeah.
like what they bring to you. Like
Right.
it's like the little quirks that
Yeah.
make them who they are.
Yeah.
Like, I love that Mitch loves hockey so much because it's a passion for him, and it brings him happiness. I see how much he loves it, and he goes out and does it because he just loves it, and he watches hockey, and that makes me happy for him. And
Like you love that he has like a side passion project and he's like motivated and
Yeah.
driven about this thing.
but further, it shows one of his true characteristics is that he's a team player for everyone. And whether it's my mom or if it's my brother or if it's his brother or if it's his friend or if it's Martin or if it's the kid upstairs, he will cheer for them. He's like a cheerleader. And whenever I think about like if Mitch and I were going to get married and our first dance, I always think of All B because he's like literally the greatest fan of everyone's life.
Oh, that's so cute. See, you like thought outside the box and look at that.
Yeah, I just need more time.
That's right.
See what happens when you prepare?
Oh, but I wouldn't have been able to prepare that. I really wouldn't.
Yeah, that's
That was
fair.
all off the cuff.
Yeah.
There you go.
Everybody, yeah, right. None of that was written down. That was she needed Martin to come in for like one more statement. She was like, "All right, I got it.
I
Got
Perfect."
this. Yeah.
So that's what I
I
love
love
about
it.
That's great.
Mitch.
I love
He's
that.
the biggest fan of my life. And Mom, I know you are too, so I'm just saying this for Mitch right now. It's Valentine's Day.
I can see that from it. She seems like a huge team
Well, you're a
player.
cheerleader too. You both are cheerleaders. It's
You-
just great.
Yeah.
But you're also like that person that cheers
Yeah.
people on. And people
Go
like
us, Mitch.
me and Martin, we need that sometimes.
Yeah.
But I want to go to what Mart was saying too. In it, how many times has your friends asked you, "Oh, what do you like about her?"
Mm.
And it's as much as it's like maybe it's a nice question, maybe it's like a derogatory question. It's an unanswerable question because it's as the friend you don't know and you don't see it. It's the person who's in that moment, who's in that relationship, who's with that person. They see the little things, like you said, the quirks or the little things that I can't. I mean, there's 1,000 things I love about Tori, but I can't tell my friends or my
Yeah.
family
You can.
because I mean I would love to, but it's in the
You can
moment.
tell everyone right
things.
now.
Yeah.
I think too. We watched obviously Love Island together. You know I love that show. And one of the things we always say is like someone new comes in and they ask someone like, "What are you looking for in a partner?" And everyone's always like the same, like
Yeah.
trust, communication, banter, whatever it is. And it's like they all say the same thing. It's like we all know we want those things. Obviously, we all want someone who's loyal and trustworthy. But like, what are the unique things that you want in a partner? Like, obviously, I didn't know I wanted someone who danced randomly with his wrist and his neck, but like I got it and I love it. But there are
Right, but I think that's so much of the beauty in it. It's just one of those things that, again, it's like you seriously just have to experience it. And I think to your point, like how did you know that you wanted that thing? You never knew. I mean, the things about you that I love, I could never have written those down on a list. I had no idea. And it's like now I have them and I can't see my life without them.
I was just going
You
to
know?
say that.
Right.
You had an impressive list in front of you, but I'm sure there's 100 things on there.
Yeah.
There's 100 things not on there that you love even more.
Mm.
And that's how it is. It's hard to quantify that feeling. And for people to ask, "Oh, what is it?"
Yeah.
I can't tell you.
Can I just get
Completely.
one example of like a weird quirk thing that I do? Like I just want to know like one of those weird Toryisms that you do like about me.
Oh, you want me to say or
Just
is
one,
it-
just one. I just need one because everyone got one and I didn't, and I'm feeling
Oh.
left out.
Well, I
how
mean,
did you not get one?
the-
You make a mark on people. You have deep conversations with people.
yeah,
Yeah, but like I don't kill. I don't kill plants. I don't
Oh.
do a weird wrist dance.
What's
Oh.
Tori's killing plants? What is that?
Oh man, as much as I am for everybody home, I am like kind of a neat freak. Not so bad, but I'm also a germaphobe. Everything like I don't like dirty things. No, but I'm saying though, but I think growing up, I grew up in a big family, and it was always messy in my house, always. But it was again trying to quantify like what it is. But there's always like laundry that we have folded. There's always like stuff we have to fold. There's like shoes not on the shoe rack, and I think it gives me a sense of home. Like that's what I grew up with.
I just got a backhanded compliment.
He's like, I love Tori's messiness. It reminds me of home. I love the chaos she brings.
That's actually like that is such a better way to put it than I did. It's so much better. But I think it's like
I try my best.
Do you?
no, you do not.
I like to be clean. I'm just not organized.
I tripped over your UGG today walking to the bathroom.
I've told her about that.
The UGG is in the
The UGG is
bathroom-
always in the hallway.
Yeah.
Roadie.
Yeah, when I came over once, she's like, I cleaned really well today. I'm like, your UGG is literally in the middle of the floor.
Yes.
I cleaned. I didn't organize.
Oh.
I
Right.
cleaned.
I think it's little things like that. I think, and yeah, like I said, to quantify it, it's difficult, but it feels like home. Coming home
To a messy house
to a
feels
messy
good
house.
for Mitch.
No, but whether it's clean or whether it's their shoes on the floor, whatever it is, I feel home here,
Aw.
and I think you bring that for me. Is that I walk in the door and you're there, Rhodey's there, the cat's there. It gives me a sense of home, and I think that's something that I will always want to have.
That's really sweet. Thanks, Mitch.
There you go. You got your
Well said,
plant.
Mitch.
I got it. Wow. I got my plant. It's a mess.
So is mine.
So I think this brings us to a really place to talk about pet peeves. Mitch, do you want to start off?
Yeah, Mitch, you seem itching to
He's
talk
hot.
about-
Mitch has got the itch.
The wet towel after a shower on the bed drives me up a wall. But like so our bedroom is on the far end of the apartment, so you have to walk past the bathroom to get to anywhere else in our apartment. So why not just grab the towel on your way out and hang it back up?
Wait, I'm
Or-
confused. Does she come out of a shower and then put the towel on the bed?
Yeah,
'cause
and
I
then
get
gets-
dressed.
and it
then
gets
I
dressed,
Oh,
forget about it.
that's
then-
what I do.
And then leaves it.
Oh, you leave
I
it.
forget
Yes.
about it.
Oh, I don't forget.
Yes,
just
she
forgot.
leaves it there. So then I come home from work
And it's a
6,
wet
7, 8
spot.
hours later, and there's like a wet towel bundled up on the bed, and it
dries.
no, when it's bundled up, it doesn't.
It gets the bed
It
wet.
just-
And it smells a
it
little
just-
bit.
yeah.
All right. Well, guys, you know what? I forget. I'm human. I have other
I
priorities.
have- this is a pet peeve. Let him pet peeve it out.
Yeah, I'm peeved as hell right now. talking
Let
about
him
it.
peeve.
Yes.
Anything else?
The towel.
You get 2.
Yeah, two's a limit here. 'cause
I'm
I
just,
feel like
they're
we-
adding up as he waits. So I got like 5.
When Tori and I are, we're in bed and we're getting ready to go to sleep, she carves out a specific area of the bed for Rhodey. Like, but it's not a little. No, Rhodey's not a big dog. He's about 50 pounds, so he's about a medium-sized dog. But he gets half of the bed.
No, he doesn't.
I'm not
gets a
exaggerating.
I
third.
believe Mitch.
No, he gets about half of the bed. And I say this because you roll into my half, and then I have to sleep like a pencil from like, and from on the way side of the bed, and you're like right up next to me, and then Rhodey has his little corner, and then your half of the bed.
This feels right.
Now he's stretched
I'm
out.
asleep. I don't know.
Yeah. No, but the worst part is you're not. As you say all the time, how like you're like, oh, I got up and so so's like, you got up at 5 a.m. to go to the bathroom, and then you came back on my side instead of giving me space. I'm not a big guy, but I like a little bit of space, and I wake up every day,
Yes.
and I think I'm very passive when I sleep. So I wake up and I'm all scrunched up, and I look
Mm.
over and I'm like,
Oh, because
How
Rhodey
did
and Tori.
how did this happen? Yeah, I went to bed starfishing, and I
Mm.
somehow woke up in a cocoon
I'm so sorry.
on the side of the bed.
I don't know. We'll have to review how you
I like
did.
those pet peeves. I don't know why, but I do.
Yeah.
They're like proper
Mm,
pet,
good.
pet peeves.
Yeah.
What are your pet peeves?
No, your turn
Oh,
for Mitch.
fine. I thought I could get away. Mitch doesn't remember anything.
Oh, is that why you were looking at him when I said Martin remembers things?
Yeah. Mitch remembers nothing. I'm surprised he remembers that this is our apartment and that we're dating. He'll tell me the same story over and over, and not,
Mm.
and I've gotten to the point where I'm like, you told me that, like because I can't do it. I was
What if it's
doing
just such a good story?
It's not. So
It's
half
not?
the
Oh,
time
okay.
it's just really long and too many details. And I'm like, I need the cliff notes, man. And he talks really fast already. So it's just a lot of words, a lot
Mm.
happening. So I'm sorry, Mitch, but that's a pet peeve. You know it.
That's hysterical because I definitely don't remember anything. I'm horrible with anything short.
So you're self-aware.
Yes. So she'll give me dates on the calendar. She's like, okay, don't forget we have this. And I'm like, oh, cool. And then like within a couple days we'll show up. She's like, okay, were you ready for this? I'm like,
I'm
what?
not, it's
Yeah.
not my strength either, but he's a lot worse than me.
Wow.
I'm horrific at it. And
Oof.
yes, I'm
Yeah.
very sorry.
So when you were like, Martin saw these shoes, and I said I remembered, that's like my dream, because all this time I'm like, last night I was like, I want to go to this restaurant, I want to go to that restaurant, I like this bag,
Right.
and then it's like come time to give a gift or pick a restaurant. and
Okay,
it's like
hold on a minute. For Christmas, he gave you the messenger bag for
he did.
the.
I put it on my Amazon wish list, so now we
Oh.
operate on Amazon wish list.
Okay,
What did I get her?
the messenger.
Very good.
The messenger bag for the podcast mixer.
Oh, yes.
That's all she wanted.
Totally remember
Literally,
that one.
her Christmas list was like podcast stuff, and she sent her brother Patrick a SIM card. She was like, "This is what I want for Christmas." He was like, "I'm not getting you a
Memory
damn SIM card."
I sent him a memory card. And he was like, "Yeah."
Anyway, okay, so he remembers nothing. That's a good one.
Okay, he remembers nothing. He never looks for anything. We've gotten into fights about this because, he will say, because you move things and put them away and then I don't know where they are, but that's me trying to not be messy. But he will open something and be like, where's this? And it's right in front of him. I'm like, did you look? and he's worked on it. I had to be
He's
like,
worked on it.
Mitch, I need you to try and look. He's like, well, if you know where it is, then you should just tell me. But I'm like, I know look at his hands right now. He's like, point proven. But the thing is, sometimes I don't know where it is. So
Right.
just look, because
Right.
then it's saying like, I need you to service me right now.
Right.
And when it's like, and then I come and it's like, and it's right in front of him. Like, just move something in the fridge. He's gotten better.
Only 2 people in his apartment move things, and if I didn't, you did.
Well, sometimes it's just like we put something back. Like, I just look for a second before you ask me. So that's the new rule: is just look for a second,
At least a second.
at least a second. It's working.
Okay.
So what? Chanel, what are your pet peeves?
Okay. So 2 is a limit, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm kidding. I honestly struggled to find 2, but my
Aw.
first one is he tells stories too long, which I just remembered while we were taping this. He just like tells a lot of details, and he really takes his time, and he's really thoughtful in his storytelling, and it bothers me.
I'm a storyteller.
It's just like, and then I was like, why?
Like, the
I just
delivery's
talked
long?
for 10 seconds, and I said nothing but, like
This is the delivery is
the
long.
delivery. It's just like, spit it out.
Well, it's all about the build up.
I don't know about that.
It's about the build up.
It's like, and then
I get
what year
there,
was
I
it?
give
Was it
you-
2020, 2021? 2020? No, August? No. Does it matter?
He wants to be
Actually
actual. He wants to be
does.
factual.
Right.
does, yeah.
It doesn't really.
Paint
That's
the
just, but that's just also you in real life. Like, she literally doesn't let shows finish. Like, she's not okay with shows taking time. She just wants to know what it is.
Yeah, I'm impatient.
I
Like,
think that's a female thing. maybe.
I need, but also like I talk quick. I'm from New York. Like we just talk.
Oh,
We get the facts
That's
out. We
true.
tell quick stories. We're here. We're there. Blah blah blah.
Fast-paced.
Fast paced. Anyway, that's one of them.
Okay.
And the other one is when he doesn't give me enough attention. I just want like cuddles and
You're needy.
yeah, I'm needy.
yes.
He knows what he signed up for.
Yeah. I
Um,
know the feeling, Martin.
Well, I know now what I signed up for. I think that's the difference.
This is so you don't feel alone. This has been a thing for me and Chanel too. What our needs are. We've talked a lot about them. What,
Yeah.
Mitch? Did you want to say something into the mic?
Yeah, you're like Martin.
Yeah.
You're like Martin. I totally know how you feel, and I was like, what do you mean? What do I do?
No, about Chanel, not about you. Like Chanel
Oh,
and
this
I.
is all back on me.
Yeah, so this is
Oh.
about Chanel. Chanel and I have had many conversations about what needs and expressing ourselves to make sure the person feels seen and that you're giving them
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah. No, he's pretty attentive, but I just like I needed attention a lot.
It's like, what is it? The love emotion. What is it?
Love
called?
language.
Love language.
Yeah. Mine is like quality time, words of affirmation, and physical touch. Like all 3.
There's 5, and she has all 5.
No, I have 3 out of 5 that are like really high.
Uh-huh.
But if the other ones work, then great.
Wait, so what are the 5?
Words of affirmation, acts of service,
There you go.
gifts, quality time, and physical touch.
Oh, I thought gifts and acts of service was the same thing. That's why.
No.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
so those 3 on my top,
What are yours, Martin? Pet peeves and I guess
Oh, yeah.
love languages now?
Well, pet peeves. So this is, again, this is a silly one, but it matters to me. Whenever she buys clothes come with, like the tag,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes through the tag of the shirt or the label of the shirt, and it's, the little clear plastic piece that like holds them together.
Yes.
When Chanel cuts that off, that's it.
It doesn't go in the trash.
Wherever it lands, that's where it is. And because they're clear, you don't see them. And
Until you do.
if I step on them, that's the only way that they make moves anywhere else.
Mm, mm.
And she buys a lot of clothes.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's an okay one.
Yeah.
I love that one. That is hysterical
Yeah.
because I'll be
So
honest.
specific.
Yeah, that's very specific. Yeah, never in a million years would I would have thought of that, but I know that would drive me up a wall.
Yeah.
If I walked into my bedroom and there was a plastic thingy under like my
Yeah.
foot when I walked in.
Clean it up.
Yeah.
Every time he finds one, he's like, oh, Oh, what?
you see this?
What is this? What? Okay.
He like eyes it in the light. He's like, "This looks like this is from."
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's the second one?
My second one, there's a whole conversation behind this, but it doesn't matter what. Honestly, if this wasn't wine in front of her right now, it wouldn't get finished. Chanel will leave
Oh.
a sip left in the bottom of any mug or glass. It doesn't matter what it is, and this also goes for not just drinks but food as well.
Hmm.
This is hummus. This is the last of the crackers. This is Skinny Pop, chocolate,
We've talked about this.
ice cream. She will get bored of the thing before she finishes it, and that literally goes for a glass of water in front of her.
We talked about this, and it's because you had siblings in your household where you had to make sure you ate everything you wanted or you didn't get to it. I grew up an only child in my household. Like, I didn't live with another sibling. So if I wanted something, I can come back to it. So
Mm.
sometimes I leave things. It could be like a little corner of something or one cookie, but I know that I'll want it later. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to eat it
Yeah.
in that moment.
Because that's the line, right?
Yeah.
I'll say to her, I'm like, "Oh, do you want this?" And the thing that she says every single time is,
Maybe later.
"Well, not right now."
Yeah.
And it's that tone
Yeah.
of voice that I'm just like, that's more annoying.
Yeah, maybe
Because-
later.
because that's not how it goes.
Yeah, it is.
Mm.
Maybe
Mm-mm.
later. Maybe in 2 hours. Not right
No,
now.
it's right
Ryan,
now.
At least it's there.
Everything's
Mitch
right now.
grew up with 6 kids, so it's like the other day I made pumpkin bread and he like took half of it and he was like, "Oh,
Correct.
Yeah.
you gotta eat it now, or you're
Yeah,
not
that's
gonna
it.
get it."
Well,
Or it
but it's-
goes.
Or the cookies. I'm like, I will
You
take.
eat all of the cookies.
No, but
Sorry.
But funny enough, actually. So yes, but also no. It's
This is how his story
this
is.
is this is such a conundrum, which is crazy to me.
Mm.
So we were raised, like I said. So
That's
I,
another pet peeve when he goes yes, but no, because I'm like,
Is it
be
yes or
both.
no?
well, not everything is like one side or the other. There's like a middle
Yeah.
ground, and this is a perfect middle ground. So I grew up with 5 siblings. So there's 6 of us, and no matter how much, and like Tori was saying, if in my family it was if you didn't eat fast, you didn't eat. Like you just,
Yeah.
if you want seconds, you gotta wolf your plate down. However, we always saved something for somebody who like wasn't there.
Mm.
So if like a brother
oh,
could make
that's
it,
funny because sometimes the chips go missing. and
I
they
mean, you
don't
already got to
find
the
them.
chips. If they got their first plate, it's like all hands
Or
on
the
deck.
cookies
Whatever
are
you want, man.
like they just go away.
Oh, I mean, no, I'm not gonna leave them for 3 days. Like I'm gonna leave them for like a day.
Right? Like
maybe.
I get.
Yeah.
You know,
that's-
anyway.
No, I get that.
So my family would do that. We would leave a little bit in the corner of the ice cream bin, in the tub. We
Mm.
leave a little bit in the corner in case like a brother who wasn't there, if he's coming home on Saturday, oh, leave a little bit for your brother. That was like ingrained in my head that there was always leave a little bit, like even half a serving for somebody
Else.
to take. Yeah.
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 And if it wasn't, but however, if it the next day was still there, free game. Whoever wants, by lunchtime the next day.
Oh,
I
it
have
was
24 hours
yeah,
to eat all the
literally.
cookies from Trader Joe's that we
Yes.
get, or I have 24 hours to like.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'll come home and be like, "Oh, what happened to the Tate's cookies?" And he's like, "Well, I ate them." Like, what do you mean? What happened to them? They were there for one day. Whereas
Right.
I can have a pack of cookies for like a week and a half. Like,
I think I've had cookies for like
Okay.
6 months.
I can. I mean, last night I ate 4 Tate's cookies in one sitting, but like for the most part, like I can when I'm in the mood to sit down
Until
and
you get bored, and to the point where we just start collecting bags of different foods.
But it goes stale.
Oh, that.
That's my
Yeah.
biggest.
Mitch
not-
thinks everything goes stale in 24 hours.
when you don't close the lid,
Okay.
like somebody
This
in
pet
this
peeves
it-
is going off the rails.
like somebody in this house who doesn't do that. Yeah, when you
I
leave it.
close the lids. We
No, you
have
just need the
different
little
standards.
clippies.
Yes, we have clippies.
No, but I do.
Your rails going off.
There's no bigger. I'm not even gonna call it a pet peeve, but there's no
She's
bigger.
cutting this.
There's no bigger shame to me than when you leave something for a couple days and like you have and you're like, oh, this one's stale. I'm like, I could have had this. I
Mm,
could have eaten it 2 days ago.
I see.
And you do that.
Okay, okay.
And you do that. Okay, I think for pet peeves, this can go on longer than we'd like.
Yeah, and we might need to just continue these conversations.
I didn't have many though. Honestly, that's it.
That's nice.
So
Well, that's not true because I told you one before we were recording, and you're like, I forgot about that one.
The point in the pet peeves was just to show that we are human. We're not perfect. We get underneath each other's skin, and the love is still there, even with these pet peeves.
So I think we also had some poll results that we wanted to do, but maybe we'll do them next week in outstanding items.
Yes.
We can give the results. We asked a few questions about dating, and we asked like, have you ever dated outside your race? Mainly because I wanted to know because me and Martin are in an interracial relationship.
God almighty,
No,
Tori.
I think it was sparked because we watched that movie, You People.
I watched it too.
It was funny.
Tori,
Yeah.
when did you watch that movie?
Not with you.
I've been wanting to watch that. I've been
Wow.
waiting.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so
That's the one
sorry.
with Jonah Hill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mitch said his pet peeve is when you watch movies without him.
Oh, don't even get me started.
I don't watch movies.
I'm just kidding.
That's the thing. And if she does
I don't watch movies.
well, that actually might be like a pet peeve in the making. If you don't watch movies and you watch one without me, I'm like, what the
yeah.
Yeah.
What is
Right.
this?
Yes.
Sorry, I watched it with my mom. She put it on, and I watched it with Dan too.
Wasn't there a Glass Onion? Didn't you watch that? I wanted to watch that
sorry.
too.
I don't know. When I'm with my families,
Things
family,
happen.
things-
Movies get watched.
Yeah. But
So the movie was good. I don't know. We watched it and we thought it was good. I think like we both sat down like ready to be like, oh, I'm so excited to like be related to. And I don't think either of us really related, but it could be because it was mainly about like family and like how their family didn't accept the other person. And I don't feel like we have that at all. Like both of our families are so supportive of our relationship. I think if anything, it's like other people who stare at us a lot and make their opinions known with their eyes and their body language when we're like out.
microaggressions.
Yeah.
Do you,
Things like that.
do you get that a lot?
Yeah.
honestly?
Yeah.
Really?
Not so much in New York, I would say. Like I think
Well,
like you think in New
No,
York?
I think we do.
Do you think you're?
Well,
This is going to be a
it
question.
depends. It depends on the neighborhood, though.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair.
Do you think you notice it more because you are white?
Well, it's the first time I've ever noticed it.
Have
I
you been in
guess.
an interracial relationship before me?
No,
Mm.
no. Well, I mean, it's the first time the conversation ever really happened for me.
Right.
So at a certain point, it kind of just, I don't want to say it's subconscious because, I mean, it really is kind of conscious. Honestly, when it comes to being in public, it's just the way people look at you.
Yeah.
And
I don't think I feel it everywhere though. I think it's like mainly certain areas. Like if we're like when we were in Cape Cod or like Newport when we were on vacation.
Very waspy areas.
Yeah. We're in predominantly black areas. I feel like he gets stared at a lot. Like it just depends where we are. Yeah, I think like we just know. Like we just sense it. Like it's
Yeah.
we've told some people and they're like, "Oh, well, maybe they're just looking at you because you're so pretty." And I'm like, I don't think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like you can spin it positively, but I think we've been around each other enough and around other people enough in areas enough where we like know like when people are staring it's like for a certain reason. And when we were on vacation in Italy, like the Italians were amazing. It was like the tourists that were staring at us.
Yeah.
They're like not from areas that are diverse. You can just tell that they were just like looking at us and being like, what's going on here?
Right. And like we
So-
talked about in the last episode, if you're not haven't been exposed to it and you're
Right.
diversity and just
Exactly.
different races and people
Yeah.
and the way that we live in New York especially, there's couples of all races,
Right.
genders, whatever it is.
Right.
So we're very used to diversity.
Exactly.
But I could see that.
Yeah.
My question being because I'm from like a more suburban rural area, so I never saw a lot of like gay couples. I never saw a lot of like interracial couples. Do you think, and I don't like word this properly. Do you think them like staring is always like a bad thing, like a negative thing, or is it kind of like a thing where like they don't see it a lot, so they're kind of like they like look and like, oh, okay, but then like just a double take because they don't see it that often. It's something new to them.
I feel like body language a lot of times is negative. I would say 95% of the time it's more like
A judgy.
Yeah, a judgy stare. And then like a whisper like look.
Just
To
so
tell their
crazy to
other
me.
person that they're with like, "Oh, look at this couple." I definitely think it's a thing and I don't think it's like in our head, but I think for the most part it is judgy. I don't know if you feel the same way.
I mean, I can't think of like one instance where it would be something else, and you pick up on the energy. Like, look, like we have been in restaurants where like the table next to, like, maybe it's staggered slightly, and the table in front of us will literally just like look over their shoulder. There
That's
could be
crazy.
2 or 3 or 4 of them, and like they're all just doing it. And like I've never had that any other time in my life, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had that until
Like if you and I just walked into a restaurant,
Yeah.
not saying we're gonna go on a date, but
Right.
you know what I mean?
What's
Like
going on right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
it's just so crazy knowing you both. This is kind of like a double date right now. It's just wild to think that in our relationships, this is something that Mitch and I will never experience, having that feeling of walking into a restaurant and having people staring at us.
Yeah.
Maybe because he has a sleeve, a tattoo sleeve, but you know what I mean? Like it's not something about who we are as a person.
Yeah, I was like very disheartened sometimes, like when we'll go out and I'm like tired. Like I've gotten to a point where I'm like, I'm gonna say something to someone because it's uncomfortable. And like we're just out trying to enjoy ourselves. Like I don't understand why we have to be looked at like we're in a glass case. Like
Right,
it's
that's
very weird to
crazy.
me.
And I think, yeah, I mean, I think, you know, we've had our instances here in the city, but like, I mean, Cape Cod was pretty bad.
Yeah, we like walked into a deli and literally like every person turned
Everyone's
around
just looking at,
and
like,
stared.
it's like they couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And I think the thing too, that, you know, we've honestly just tried to find like a little bit of humor in, simply because it can be exhausting, is like, you know, we try and think like, who are they upset at? Depending on who it is. Who's it, like, are they upset with me or are they upset with you?
Yeah.
And you know, that's more contextual and
Yeah.
in given situation, but it's just, it's so odd.
Yeah.
It's so odd to just be stared at like that. And again, it's not something that I've ever had before. And it's like, I don't know what else it is.
Yeah, I mean, I've dated outside of
know?
my race before, so I've definitely dealt with it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I've had people come up to me before and say things. So it's not like obviously my first rodeo, should I say, but I think like this is the longest relationship I've been in outside of my race. So this is the longest I've ever dealt with it and gone on vacation and like all this stuff and like had to deal with it like we have to deal with it all the time. But when we were watching the movie, you people, we were like, okay, like let's see what they're gonna say about this. And I think we were both sitting down like hoping to get like a little bit of like, oh, like let's relate to them. Let's get some similarities out of this. And it just kind of felt like it was like a lot of surface level jokes. It was funny, and I think maybe some families might be like that. I don't know. Our families aren't like that. But I just don't think it hit on enough nuances that interracial couples might actually deal with.
Right. It kind of fast forwarded into family relations and not.
Yeah,
so
it was just
much-
very surface level of like my mom, my dad, they don't accept me. That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do think some of this goes against some of the greater conversation we've had about it. But I do think that there are a lot of places in the world, I mean, definitely in this country, that literally don't know even 5% of this. So I think like when
Yeah.
you hit on, you know, the very like high contrasting moments, or like the very, you know, just like the dramatics of it,
Yeah.
and like, you know, you kind of have to hit some of these things on the head, or you know, be on the nose with it, is like, yeah, you know, the mom that's like, you know, so obnoxious, right, who just doesn't get it, the cool dad who thinks he's like, you know, thinks he's like hip, talking to her about whatever it was, right? I think that a lot of that exists.
Exhibit.
Yeah,
And
that's fair.
so I guess to make a movie, you know, in an hour and a half, it's like, well, let's just hit some of this stuff home,
Right.
just, you know, for the message.
Hit the parts that we can make a joke out of. We can make
Yeah.
funny.
Right.
It's not always real. It's not always realistic. But it's, you know,
Yeah.
it's an hour and a half. We can get a laugh out
Mhm.
of these three jokes that just happen to tell a little bit of the whole broad story.
The story,
Right.
right.
I watched that with my mom, my brother, myself, and it was uncomfortable at times. Not because any of us are racist, but just because it's like, what level of understanding are you in this? What's happening on the screen? I mean, we all watched it. We all took away what we did, but I could see where Martin's saying, you know, not based on my family, but other families that are watching this, some of them have no idea some of those basic things are problems and this is their first kind of encounter in watching this on Netflix, that like
I
these-
agree.
You know,
but
I don't know.
I think also like as much as I want to like make excuses and say some people have never experienced this, like it's also like we're in 2023. We
Yeah.
shouldn't have to have a movie where the surface level jokes are so surface level.
That's true.
Like these jokes were like very, very basic, I guess. Like it was just like exactly what you would think. That's what they did.
Yeah.
It
It's
It's like
wasn't.
if you're gonna do the movie, do it.
Yeah, it wasn't anything like deeper than that.
They could have had moments to tie in the actual reality that were like mundane
Yeah.
things, like going to a restaurant.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Mitch, are you gonna watch it?
I do want to watch it.
Okay.
Sorry.
It actually reminded me when I first saw the trailer. It reminded me of a movie I saw like years ago with Ashton Kutcher and,
Yeah.
and Bernie Mac.
Yes.
Guess who?
Zoe Saldana. I'm
Oh,
obsessed
yeah.
with her.
Oh,
We
it
talked
was-
about her on like
I
the
know.
first episode.
Yeah, so I like watched that movie and I loved Ashton Kutcher when
Mhm.
I was a kid, and I thought that movie was hysterical. I
Yeah.
loved Bernie Mac, but like you were saying, it wasn't so surface level. I mean, I watched it years later. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I watched it years later, and it just the intricacy of the jokes. It was interracial, but how they brought everything kind of together. It was such a great, funny movie. But like you're saying, yeah, when it's kind of surface level, it's kind of cringy because at this point everybody knows.
Yeah.
they kind of get it. So
Yeah.
it's not funny anymore. It's just kind of awkward.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a you got to find an. I mean, I love Jonah Hill.
yeah, me too.
He's a great
Oh,
actor.
the actors in it were
they were
amazing.
I think
good.
I think Julia Louis Dreyfus was the mom.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And Eddie Murphy, like
Oh,
Yeah.
I was so
mean,
happy to see him.
I think individually they did great, and I agree with you. I think a lot of critics were comparing it to Guess Who because I think that's what it was trying to do. But Guess Who was made during a time where like that wasn't really a thing. Like interracial couples were just starting to be. It could have gone so much more beyond that, and I just think it just stayed there.
I agree with you.
And the
100%.
creator of it was a creator of, or the director of it was a creator of Blackish and Grownish, and I love those shows. I think they
Ah.
do such a good job with it. They talk about race in such a good way. Like they bring light to it. It's funny. They talk about the intricacies. I don't think they did that with this movie.
Yeah, they didn't hit it out of the park where they could have had an opportunity to really
Right.
done more,
Right.
but they at least made contact with the ball, and they
Yeah,
did touch on some
yes,
of the things.
Yeah. I mean, I'm being critical, obviously, because
Well, you should be.
yeah, but
Because
I just think it was a little surface level is all.
Yeah.
I agree with you. So, real review, what would you rate it?
5 out of 10.
Martini?
Yeah, a 5 or 5.6, something like that.
Mitch, do you still want to see it?
I mean, I heard all the spoilers already.
Oh,
it
yeah.
seems,
Sorry.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a 6. I guess,
Right.
on the
Sorry.
high end. If it,
On the
not
high
having
end,
to
yeah.
deal with the issues, it seems funny. I guess I don't know.
I'll give it
It
a
was funny.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a decent
5.
watch.
You too,
but
5.
Yeah.
yeah 5. I mean, I got through it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
Some
going to
parts
win an
were
Oscar.
funny. No, I think it got a lot of negative reviews as well, but it got some decent reviews. But
Yeah,
I think it was like some cringe, some funny. It was fine.
it was fine.
It was fine.
That was my takeaway too. I think
Yeah.
we were texting too, and I told you I watched it. And I was like,
yeah,
it was
It was
fine.
fine.
I think it just like you were saying. I think in today's
I thought you were gonna read it. I'm like, you didn't even watch it.
in today's
image.
day and age, I guess like the surface level jokes just don't hit anymore.
Yeah.
You need something different. It's got.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I expect more. You know.
I hear you.
I like
Well-
how we walked into a real review without even like.
I know.
We just started
I
talking.
know. Tori's
started
like,
trashing Jonah Hill's new movie. Like, sorry, dude, you were great, Wolf of Wall Street, but you hit a
This one
dud.
didn't hit.
You hit a dud here, my guy.
I did like that it was about a podcast, so I
oh,
found
I forgot about that.
I liked that part. It was like,
Spoiler alert,
Yes.
dude.
Yeah. No,
Well-
the spoils are spoiled.
You guys want to give me
it
the
wasn't
synopsis
about
at this
it
point?
wasn't about a podcast, but there was a podcast in there where it was Jonah Hill, and then I'm so sorry, I don't know who his
No, I don't remember either. The co-host.
yeah, his co-host. They were black, and they talked about interracial relationships.
Yeah, I thought that was like the best part is when they spoke on the podcast about stuff. I
Yeah,
was like,
that was-
that's like talking about real
Yep.
stuff. That's our real review, I guess, that we didn't expect
Wow.
to have.
That was wild.
This has been great.
Guys, how are I know I feel like
How are you guys feeling?
Great. This is fun.
Yeah.
Are you cooling?
Yeah. I'm chilling, yo.
What was it?
Cooling.
He's-
That's right.
He was
Cooling.
cooling.
Cooling. Do you have any thoughts that you want to wrap up with?
Valentine's Day. It's a nice holiday, but keep it simple. Keep it easy. Just do. Don't go all out. Just
Do the bare minimum, right? Mitch?
bare minimum might be even pushing it.
Oh my god.
I'm just like, don't do anything.
Yeah. Well, it just so happens that
What?
Tori and I were talking about Valentine's Day, and she's like, "Do you want to just like go out and do stuff, or like want to stay in and like make pasta?" I was like, "I would much rather go out or stay in and make pasta, please, for the love of God."
That is funny because I asked Martin the same question and he said he wanted to go out.
Wow.
The extrovert wants to stay in and the introvert wants to go out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, I just wanna
Well,
stay in and make pasta. That's all I want to do.
we did do some polls, and unfortunately, we're not going to have time to get to it because this is already a really long episode. But Chanel and I will do.
Outstanding items.
outs-
I said it already.
Oh, shit. Sorry. Well, we're not going to be able to get to them, but we will catch up on outstanding items
Next week.
next week.
Thanks guys for being here. We love you.
Thanks for having us. This
Yeah,
is great. We love you too.
Really appreciate that.
We could talk all night, huh?
We could.
Martin said he loved us.
I love you guys too. But Martin the most.
Who's the needy one?
Too
I thought it was me, but I don't know.
Well, and we love you listening at home. So,
Tori, do you want to plug the things?
yes. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Email us at gladwetalkpodcast@gmail.com. And continue reading your professional troublemaker manual.
Fear Fighter Manual.
Firefighter's manual. I love
Fear
you.
Fighter. Just
All right.
singular. And also leave a review for us on Apple and Spotify. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much. We're always.
Glad we talked.
You guys can finish it.
Take it away, Mitch.
I'm so glad we talked.
What does Nardwar do? Boop boop boop. Skibbity boop. You guys know Nardwar?
No.
I thought you were quoting like from the show Crank Yankers from like 20 years ago. Like
No.
I
you
can't
guys,
wait to edit. Wow. I'm so excited to edit 2 hours of this.
This has been so fun. Well,
I'm so glad you're editing.
Yeah, I'm so glad I'm editing.
He's a Canadian legend.
okay.
Shout out Nardwar.
That's why we never heard of him.
Oh, that's
my
right. He's
God.
Canadian.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Bye.
What'd you do for Valentine's Day?
Mitch and I made Monagot, which is our favorite. It's my favorite, and Mitch has now made it his favorite too. And it's a genuine love that he has for Italian food, and we like to do that together. So we did that.
Yum. Are there leftovers? Because I want some.
Yes, I made you some leftovers because
Okay,
I
thank
knew
you
you'd
so
like
much.
them. What did you guys do?
We had a reservation at this Venezuelan restaurant in
Ooh.
Williamsburg.
Fun.
I can't remember the name right now. Yeah, he's pretty good at impressions.
You're talking to my guy all wrong. It's the wrong tone.
Is that Christopher Walken?
Do it again.
Yeah, but it's a good effort.
It's a
good.
good effort.
Was
Okay.
it? It just sounded like he was from the Jersey Shore.
Just another guy.
Yeah.
Pauly D.
Shut up.
Okay.
Okay. So
Is this recording?
yeah.
Mine?